Now, what was the first thing they did? The first thing they did was they modified death certificate reporting exclusively for COVID. They said, if you have a comorbidity, normally we would put that in part 1, which is cause of death. The thing is, though, what's always been charted as the cause of death is the oldest line item. So if you had, let's say, asthma or COPD, right? Let's say you had COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, right? Let's say it was for 10 years. Well, if you contracted COVID and died, COVID wouldn't be the cause. COPD would be the cause because it was the oldest known disease process. Make sense? What the CDC said through the National Vital Statistics System is, we don't want you to put comorbidities in part 1, just put them in part 2, which are contributory factors to death. And the outcome of that was that 96% of all death certificates for COVID had on average 4.0 comorbidities. So that's a pretty important thing to de-emphasize in part 2. You're removing the actual cause, which is the comorbidity, and you're saying, no, it's going to be COVID no matter what. Because when you remove the comorbidities, now COVID could be the last line item, and thus the cause. And now you get the hyperinflation of death certificates and numbers. And now you get the justification for the public health policies. And if somebody's going to speak out and say, we've never done this like this. Why are you doing it like this? Shh, 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 shh. Here's some money. Hospital administrator, just go along with it. And this is why you're seeing over the last 2 years hospitals having record profits. Because they have received ill-gotten gains through the Medicare, Medicaid system, which was authorized by the Health and Human Services Department. See, it's intricate, right?
Which still came out of the people's money because they inflated the dollar.
Exactly. Exactly. See, they are using our own money against us. And I don't know what the right scheme terminology is. I don't know if it's Ponzi or RICO or I don't know. I just know it's wrong.
Yeah.
You cannot produce fraudulent data to justify tyrannical public health policies and then tell the people who might question you, shh, 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 here's some money. In fact, here's a lot of extra money. Just go along with what we're saying. Do your duty. And that's what happened with death certificates. When we look at death certificates, we've seen in Santa Clara County, California, and in Alameda County, California, they did a partial audit, and it lowered their death certificates by 22% and 25%. Why? Because hospitals were counting everything they could as COVID. Get in a car accident? COVID. Fall off a ladder? COVID. And when I put COVID down, I get more money for it.